to Jinja City. We're gonna kick this off with the one Derek. Pick the microphone and, how are you? It's been a long time. Good to see you.
Great to see you, Jocquees. Very great to see you. Great to see everybody here. Great to feel the excitement. I'm so happy that we're finally able to kick this off. The wait has been very long, and thanks to the mayor right here, thanks to our sponsors and our supporters, we're finally able to have this important day and announce to you the new site as well as the dates of the festival. And I'm just really looking forward to holding the best event we've ever had in the history of Nyege. As you know, there's a lot of copycats nowadays, but that's also a great form of flattery. I'm glad to see that everybody is trying to follow in our footsteps, but this year we're really gonna bring it up to another level. Thanks to our partners, thanks to the community of Jinja, thanks to Busoga Kingdom, we're here together and ready to announce.
Right, we're gonna kick this off with 2023. We have Back to the Source as our theme. How did this come about? What is the meaning of Back to the Source?
Yeah, so as you know, the source of the Nile is a very important place for the whole world, I can say, as well as for the continent and for Uganda. And last year, we moved the festival to Itanda upon the invitation of Itanda Falls. And because of the roads, it proved challenging, and we really had to think, where did we start? And I'd had a few calls from the mayor here besides me before that, and he had called me for, I guess, 2 years already, saying, but Derek, why don't you come to Jinja? We have the source of the Nile. This is the most important, touristic and spiritual place in Uganda. Why don't you come back to us? And so this year, we talked, we met, and we were welcomed with open arms, and we said, well, you know what? Why don't we go back to the source of the Nile, to the source of what Nyege Nyege is about. It's about community, it's about creating jobs, it's about advertising Uganda to the rest of the world, and showcasing some of the most exciting East African and African artists performing today. So it was really exciting. Moreover, we had different partners come together, Source Garden Hotel, where we are right now, the people at the showgrounds, the people at the golf course, the people at Nile Park. So, we got all these stakeholders together and said, let's organize this from the source of the Nile. And I guess it's also very important, the aspect of community. This is going to be an edition that is going to be co-organized by every citizen of Jinja. That means that every hotel will be filled, every souvenir shops will make business, every restaurant will be filled. We will use, Jinja youth to volunteer for the festival, to work on site building, to work on security. It's going to be really a family affair. And when I first came to Uganda 12 years ago, I moved to Jinja. I was working on projects, social projects in Masese and Walukuba, and I've always had, a very strong love for the city. And it's really my happiness to also move back here for the next 3 months at least, to oversee all the production, all the operation, and make sure that every Ugandan can be proud that this international event is hosted here. Every artist can benefit from the exposure and how this is going to raise their international career, but also see money flowing into the pockets of Ugandans, of Jinja residents, so that this is what a festival should be about. It's not just a party. It's also about bringing positive things to the community. It's also about getting people excited and really trying to connect every dot so that we can party, but with a good reason. So I'm also really, really excited at the artists that we're going to bring to you this year. Today I've been told not to announce any names yet, but I can promise you big artists from Nigeria, from Brazil, from the UK, from South Africa, as well as of course some of our most promising Ugandan artists, some of the legends of Ugandan music, of East African music. Of course, there's going to be a great emphasis on traditional music. Uganda has over 54 tribes, and each of these tribes has a story to tell. Each of them have their music, have their culture, and this is something that we're really proud of, and that makes Uganda one of the most exciting countries on the planet because of this diversity. And this is a diversity we wish to continue to showcase, and we're extremely happy about it. In terms of decoration, the theme this year, Back to the Source, is also the name of the site. We've labeled it Nyege Wonderland. So expect a real fairy tale, expect, all your senses to be ignited. And, again, I want to thank you all. I'm going to pass on the microphone unless there's other,
just a little
other
bit.
questions.
I was letting you elaborate that one a little bit more because it's very important for not just people outside East Africa or in East Africa, but also in Uganda. We need to always get back to the source, and I love that you're shining light on that. I'm going to ask you some two-in-one question. Before I do that, the hashtag is Nyege23. Just Nyege23 in case you want to post something out there. Nyege23 is our official hashtag. It'll be going through all the way to November. All right, so if you could elaborate on a 2-day music conference preceding the festival, what are the goals of that event? What shall we be trying to achieve here? And as the festival's co-founder, what is your proudest achievements in the journey of Nyege? I have a couple of those. I'd like to know yours.
Okay, well, I think these two things are tied, but initially, one of the main ideas behind Nyege was to showcase Ugandan artists that weren't getting enough recognition, both locally and internationally. And as we continue to work towards, fortifying our industry, our music industry, we found that a lot of young musicians are still not very well aware of what it takes to take your career to the next level, be it on promoting your music, distributing your music, earning from your royalties, touring internationally. There's a lot of these things that people need to know about. So this year, we've decided to add the sort of industry music conference components that will be open to the artists. We will invite the likes of Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Apple Music, a lot of the big players to come here and really try to motivate, but also inform, our musicians and the people in our industry. How do you become a booking agent? What does it take to become an artist manager? How do you distribute your music? These are all things that we need to do, because core to, the idea of Nyege is that the cultural economy is very important. Today there's 45 million Ugandans, there's a lot of young people, and there's a lot of talented young people. But now, if the talent is not nurtured enough, it goes to waste, and this is why, it's very important for us to see that we see more Ugandan films, more Ugandan photographers, painters, sculptors, designers, musicians, that are really able to profit from this economy, and that, we go beyond the simple drink that we have at the bar, but also, really support, our local artists. So I guess that's really important for us, and I'm really excited to launch this first episode of Nyege Music Conference ahead of the festival. Then, my proudest achievements, I think, there's a couple of them, but when we talk about promoting Ugandan artists, today we've had this year about 500 shows internationally. Ugandan artists play in Japan, they play in Australia, they play in Europe, they play in China, they play in the US. And that is really, a big pride, because that means that these artists are able to live from their music. Let me take the example of the Nachibembe Mbere group. This is a giant xylophone that you see every year at the festival. It's played by 6 people, and it's here in Iganga. Well, for the first time this year, they were able to perform in Germany, able to perform in France, earn a living. When they go home, whatever they earn, it goes back into their village. It allows them to pay for school fees. It allows them to, purchase lands and be more stable, and at the same time preserve their culture. So to mix the economics, the entertainment, with also the culture and being able to preserve our tradition, I think that's extremely, extremely important to us, and probably one of our greatest achievements. And I think secondly, the fact that you're all here today, and the amount of people that have been supporting us through trials and tribulations, it's also been, a great achievement, because, as a foreigner, it always takes time to sort of, integrate into society and understand, what's important in people's hearts and in people's minds, and be able to align to that, not to bring something that is foreign to them, but to see, what is it that you have, and that we can grow together. And by seeing, the amount of support that we've received, support from government, support from local stakeholders, support from the Kingdom of Busoga, that this is really Uganda's pride, and I'm really, really happy that we've been able to achieve this kind of unity. I feel like, as a country, it's very important to go beyond our differences and see that we're stronger together. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.